All right, Pisces, you're going to have to take a risk here if you want to enjoy abundance in your life. So, from the Halloween Oracle, Apple, risk and reward, and then the Sun Dancers from the Hidden Realms, joyful activity, celebration of life, and abundance. Apple is saying that you're going to have to take a risk. It's saying that you need to look at how risk plays out in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want change but are not willing to change anything? Are you willing to risk to get greater reward? Or alternatively, are you risking too much too often? But I don't think that that's it with the Sun Dancers. I think that you may be looking at it like, this is a really big risk that I'm taking. But if you take this risk, it's going to lead to really good things here. With the Sun Dancers, it says, give thanks in advance for the grace and goodwill of the divine. It says, be willing to dance the victory dance if your greatest dreams are realized, and watch how easily things begin to fall into place. Stay positive and leave the timing up to the divine. All things are possible now. So you're going to have to take a risk here, but the reward is going to be worth it, right? But what is it that you feel like it's, all right, Pisces. Here's your overall for the week. Oh, God damn it. I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell it is with this card this week, but it is driving me absolutely nuts. The Eight of Cups, but given the Oracle cards, if you move on from something that is no longer fulfilling you, it may be a risk that you're taking, but, things are going to work out here, right? But stay positive about what you don't know is ahead of you, But with the Eight of Cups, you definitely here considering moving on from something that is no longer fulfilling you, that you've spent a lot of time with. In the past, the Nine of Cups. With the Nine of Cups as the past coming through, this may have been something that you thought was exactly what you wanted. And, this to me is saying that you got it, but it didn't turn out, to be as fulfilling as you had hoped, but are you still looking at, what you're wanting here, but maybe it's that you need to move on from something else in order to receive what you're wanting here, but this is feeling abundant, but what you're showing right now, the Eight of Cups, that's not it. In the present, the Queen of Wands. Now, with her being in the present moment, this may be, somebody that you're dealing with here. Could be fire sign, could be male or female, doesn't matter to me. But what I look at with her is, needing to feel good about, what it is that you're wanting here. Feeling good about, the abundance that's around you, right? But with the Eight of Cups, though, the thing is that, it bothers me. Because this isn't fulfilling. This is being drained by something that you thought you wanted. Now with the Queen of Wands, right, self-image is what comes up for me with her. Needing to feel good about yourself and not worrying about how you look in this situation. Now, if you're dealing with a person, you may feel like really excited and really full of energy and like, wanting to attract them, but we'll see. Oh, shit. Pisces, the hell, the Five of Cups in future conditions. I look at that Queen of Wands and think you're trying to remain strong despite the fact that you're constantly, giving to something that is clearly not making you happy. With the Five of Cups, this is disappointment. This is disappointment over something not working out, something that, you may have really, really wanted here with the Nine of Cups. For some of you, it could simply be overindulgence, and maybe getting a little bit too carried away and now being a little bit disappointed, and maybe now it is time to move on. Jeez. Yeah, your best path to follow, the Six of Swords. Yeah, it's time. It's time now to move on. It's not going to be easy, but, this is something that you're going to have to move on from. You're going to have to walk away from, let go of. In order to go back to a place where you can be, a little bit more confident in what it is that, you are trying to create, what it is that you want, what your wishes really are. Like I've always said with the Nine of Cups, all right, if you rub the genie lamp you better make sure that you're specific on that shit, because anything can show up. You know, were you being unrealistic in the past as far as what the potential would be? You know, and I hate saying that, but with the Five of Cups, yeah, and then the Six of Swords, it's time to go. You know, in your environment, the Page of Pentacles. Now, you know, with that being connected to the Queen of Wands, because you're leading into the Five of Cups, if we're talking about, you know, you trying to start over with something, it leads to disappointment. You know, and I'm looking at it this way, right? This is something you really, really want. You really want to have this. But, you know, we're looking at this as the overall. So not being fulfilled here, but like wanting to start it over, wanting to start again, right? Because there may be this attraction, you know, and then for some of you, it's you feel confident in your ability to kind of like rebuild what isn't, you know, working out the way that you want it to. But there's still this disappointment coming through. You know, because I always look at the Page of Pentacles and I feel like starting over, starting from the bottom, working your way back up, taking new information that's been learned and applying it in a way where you get to build what you're wanting. And I think that right now you may feel confident in this, but, you know, are you going to continue to be disappointed by this or unfulfilled? You know, and this could be work or a relationship here, or just, you know, needing to move on from wanting things that, you know, may not be worthy of you. You know, your hopes and your fears, the Hangman. You're still hanging in there. And, you know, with the Hangman being a fear here, it would be that you don't get that enlightenment that kind of shows you, you know, where you need to move on to, right? Not being able to act, not knowing what decisions to make here, right? But then also fearing that, you know, there won't be that new perspective, that you're going to continue to do something that is unfulfilling for you. You know, but the hope there would definitely be that, you know, you're no longer bound to this, right? You're no longer holding yourself up, that you receive the enlightenment that you're looking for, and it makes it easier for you to move on. You know, but I think some of you are still hanging in there, you know, hoping and waiting. And then coming out the sun, the sun, the sun. You know, and with the Queen of Wands being in the present moment, you know, it makes sense, right? Like, you may feel confident right now that you can fix this, or that you can rebuild this or start over. But with the sun shining on you, you know, you may be moving into unknown territory, so to speak, with the Eight of Cups, if you choose so to walk away from what is unfulfilling. But, you know, the sun is saying that, you know, everything will be clear in the end. You know, and that may be where risk and reward is coming through. You know, but I do think that it's time to move on. It's time to move on to something that makes you feel better about yourself, instead of trying to, you know, start over with something that's not going to give you what you want. And then the Four of Pentacles. Ooh, I'm telling you, there's something about this that you're not wanting to let go of just yet, right? For some of you, you may need to just kind of hang in there and maintain this. But, you know, the way that I'm looking at it, right, like, you know, some things are definitely going to become clear to you. But with the sun, you know, this is one of those things where if you continue to do this, you're going to be drained. You know, you're supposed to be doing things that are going to revitalize you, make you feel better, right? And I think that right now, some of you are feeling good and confident. But if you can't get over disappointment, then everything that you do here to try to get what it is that you're wanting is not going to fulfill you. Now, the Queen of Cups, right? With the Nine of Cups, yeah, absolutely. You know, and with the sun being there at one point, this is perfect. I mean, the sun is shining on this. This is exactly what you want. You're emotionally invested, right? But are you too invested in this? You know, especially with the Eight of Cups being there. And again, this could be because of a person you're dealing with. The Four of Cups, you know, like I said, there's some level of confidence in your ability to kind of start over. But the thing is that, you know, if it means starting over somewhere else, that is not going to be fulfilling for you. I don't think that you have an interest in moving on, right? You're certainly not happy with what, you know, you're not getting out of this. But what you need to fill that cup is like right there, but you're not seeing it, right? There may be another opportunity coming through, but because you're so focused on this, you may not even see it. but definitely losing interest here, losing interest in this. There may be a little bit of boredom, dissatisfaction, but with the Four of Pentacles, and there's my problem here, because you're talking about maintaining that. You need to maintain it. It's like, I can't let this go just yet, And it may be because you think that there's going to be, something new that happens here because of the Hangman being hopes and fears. But, my problem is the Five of Cups, But the thing is, for me, this could go either way. It could be that you need to get over some disappointments with this, and maybe we do need to start over, and what you need to do that is right there, but you may not be seeing it, but you have to be willing to give a little bit to get something. It just depends here, but to me, it looks like there's a lot of, unfulfillment coming out here and just being emotionally wiped out by this. But it's like you're trying to show a stronger side of yourself. Like, I can do this. I can make this work. I can keep doing this. But that may not be, in your best interest because of the Six of Swords being your advice, right? All right. So for those of you who are single, there's not enough to keep this going. The thing is when you're looking at the Three of Wands, right, you're talking about two people that are like, yes, I feel this way about you. You feel this way about me, right? And you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. And then here's this connection. The problem is there may not be enough to keep the relationship going in terms of, a commitment with the Hierophant here, right? The Hierophant in this deck is about spiritual support for your relationship. But I kind of look at it in the traditional sense, right? Traditional relationship, wanting to have a traditional relationship, but there isn't enough to keep that up. It's fine and all that, there's a connection there and there may be the same type of emotions, but it's just not enough for, the long-term commitment to be made. This may not be a very traditional relationship. But the thing is, though, if there's not enough right now, it makes me think that, it's possible that this may change, and I shouldn't be saying that based on the general spread because, logic and reason is saying, right, like it's time to move on. It's time to move on from this. But maybe it's just that the conflict surrounding, the need to commit needs to be moved away from and stop looking at it in that perspective, right? And just enjoy each other. All right. Now, you guys are going to have to let me know. Pay attention to the red flags for those of you who are in a relationship. When you're looking at the King of Pentacles, you're talking about somebody who may be a little bit domineering, a little bit controlling. You may be dealing with an earth sign here, right? But with the Five of Swords being next to that, the reason why they may be acting that way is because they may feel inadequate. The Five of Swords is about getting over inadequacies, and that may be something that you're not seeing. They may feel like, they're not good enough or that there's something wrong with them. But rather than dealing with it, they're being like domineering and like, it's almost like they're projecting it onto you. But it's not that they're trying to hurt you. It's just that they're dealing with this right now. But you need to see those signs, and help them get over where they feel like, they're not good enough. Now, this may be you though, right? And maybe you need to pay attention to that. But, Pisces, I'm pulled. My heart is pulled on this. There is a part of me that wants to say, hang in there, right? But I'm not looking at strength. I'm looking at, you and yourself and how you feel, your sense of self, your sense of direction with the sun, seeing everything clearly, right? Especially if you're unhappy, because there is emotional dissatisfaction coming straight through on this. But you are invested though, but you may not be seeing, what is there next to you that is going to give you that fulfillment, and make things feel a little bit better where they're not so blah, but I think that there's a part of you that needs to kind of like let go, and maybe you need to see and open up to, the risk of staying with this in order to get to, that joyful feeling. Right? But then logic and reason is saying to me that, this is not something that, you can rebuild here. But I think that some of you feel really confident in your ability to do this, but there, are some things that have to be moved away from, right? Things that can be no longer invested in. My heart is torn on this. You guys are going to have to let me know where your risk is right now and how that risk is going to play out when it comes to you having joy and actually being emotionally fulfilled, especially giving that is how you come into this.